Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Christy, and I am kind of flying solo at the moment. You will see Joel later in the video, or maybe I should say you'll hear him later in the video. But anyway, I digress. This is a what's for dinner video. We are doing these videos as a way just to show you how we use our flexible meal planning so that we don't waste food. Little did we know that when we started Plan Ahead April challenge, that our life was going to take a very drastic turn. In the first What's for Dinner video that we did a couple of weeks ago, I'll link it down in the description, I mentioned that we found out that my mother had cancer. It was terminal cancer, and she actually passed away 1 week later. Doctors called it a very aggressive form of cancer, and obviously it was very. Anyway, because of that, when we found out that how aggressive it was, we hopped on a plane and went to see her as quickly as we possibly could. And we got there, and she actually passed away the next day. So then we had memorial services, stuff like that. So we ended up not eating at home for almost a week. But what you'll see is that originally I recorded the What's for Dinner thinking that it was going to be a 1 week video, and it only ended up being 2 days, maybe two or three days worth of meals, because we had hopped on a plane to leave. And so I even ended it. And then after I got back and I started doing the next week's worth of videos for the next What's for Dinner video, I decided that I needed to just run those two together and make them one video. So there'll be a little odd disconnect probably between the videos where it sounds like I'm ending a video, but I'm actually just connecting it into the second week. So this is 2 weeks worth of meals, kind of, except for the exception of that 5 or 6 day period where we were traveling. And I do apologize. It'll sound a little depressing just saying that, one of the reasons why I was ending the video was because my mom had died, So bear with me through that. I do apologize. I don't mean to, but it was just a fact of life. And I'm actually sharing with you how we didn't waste any food throughout this. And like we've said in our shorts videos on Plan Ahead April, we plan meals with fresh produce in the early part of the week, and then meals with frozen veggies, things like that, toward the end of the week, so that we don't waste food. And it actually worked out great for us, because we did use a meal with fresh produce before we hopped on that plane, and that was the day before or 2 days before, something like that, before we got on the plane. So we did use that, but then we didn't have to. The meals that were planned after that was with frozen veggies, so we didn't waste anything. So again, that part of that is just showing you how we didn't waste any food throughout this. And the reason we're showing you that is the idea that if you are someone like us, our schedules change rapidly, because Joel works in a restaurant business, and so his schedule sometimes changes after we do our meal plan. That's why we always kind of tailor our meal plan so that we can make changes and switch things around as much as needed. And so that's why we've been showing that this month, is just kind of give you an idea about what flexible meal planning looks like. And if you're interested in that, stick around and see what we had to eat for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so tonight we are having cheeseburger sliders. Now, very easy. We have shown the recipe on the channel. We'll link it in the description. But you basically have your meat thawed out, and you mix it with seasoning, and then put some more seasoning on it after you press it down in the pan. Put it in the oven for how long?
20 minutes.
And you just put the seasoning on top, whatever. I don't know where I stopped saying it. Anyway, just put it in the oven for about 25 minutes. Then you go on to your next step. Okay, so after it's gone for 25 minutes and you take it out, you drain all the grease off of it. Then you put slices of cheese down on top, put it back in the oven for about 2 minutes. You just want the cheese to melt on it. Okay, so then you just move your ground beef mixture over to your sliced Hawaiian rolls. We get the savory butter because that's what Joel likes best.
Yep.
But, you know, sometimes it comes off completely, like the whole thing. He's able to lift the whole thing over into it, but this time it broke a little bit. But that's okay because when you put the lid on it.
If you like it, then you should put a lid on it. Okay.
You'd never know. Anyway, and so that's what we're having for dinner tonight. All right, so it's Tuesday, and on Tuesday we did plan to actually make this recipe, so we're on track with our meal plan. It's a penne pasta, which if you look at it, you can tell right away that's not penne pasta because they didn't have any on the shelf. We had to buy a different kind.
Rotini.
Rotini, yes, rotini. I couldn't even think of it. We bought rotini pasta instead, but it's just a penne pasta with veggies and andouille sausage. So super simple, and we usually have leftovers of it. Okay, so it's actually been a couple of nights since we made our veggie pasta. Things progressed with my mom, and so we hopped on a plane so that we could go see her, and she passed away the next day. So we had to eat, you know, a couple of meals out that because we were in a whole different state than our house. But anyway, we're back home today just to get some things together and stuff because we're going to have her memorial service on Sunday. And so to get back to Mississippi in time for the memorial service, we'll have to leave tomorrow. So I'm going to close out this video here with just showing you I'm having some leftovers for dinner tonight, and just tell you tomorrow, of course, we'll be eating out again somewhere because we'll be on the road again. So, but that kind of, yeah, this is definitely one of those where flexible meal planning came into perfect for us because we had our one recipe with fresh veggies in it, and the ones that we had planned for later in the week was actually going to be frozen broccoli and cauliflower from their freezer. So nothing to waste. So that's good. All right. And since I'm going to end it here, I'm just going to say thank you to everyone who sent your condolences or your well wishes. We're praying for my family. I really appreciate it. I do. And it means more than, you know, to know that people all over the world were thinking about us. Thank you. Okay, so this is us finally getting around to doing our first meal of the week after being gone. We got home last night, so this is our first meal since getting home from my mom's memorial service. So we're making taco soup because we didn't have to have any fresh ingredients. We just thawed out some ground beef, and we're putting this all in there together. We had canned beans and corn and everything so that we could easily put that together, and we'll probably be eating on that for maybe another night or two. So easily you just brown some ground beef. You add various cans of beans and corn and tomato sauce and stuff like that. And we will link in the description a video where we actually shared this recipe on our channel already. Okay, so it's been heated up for about 20 minutes. And it's all done, and now we can eat. Pretty quick. And as you can see, it's a really big pot. So we'll be eating on this for a couple of days. And that's all for, let's see, this is Tuesday. And you'll probably see it again tomorrow night for my Wednesday night meal as well. Okay? Okay, and so like I said, this is the next night. It's Thursday, and we are having leftover taco soup. Okay, so today we are actually having our chicken and rice casserole. Joe don't like the word casserole because it makes him think of church potluck dinners, but it's a way to describe it. Anyway, so basically you just melt a stick of butter, you put your chicken down, you season it, and you put a rice mixture, which is just rice, cream of chicken soup. We make homemade cream of chicken soup ourselves, and water and some seasonings, and you're good to go. That's all it really is. So we will be putting this in the oven, 350 degrees for about an hour, and we may also roast some broccoli to go on the side, and that's pretty much a whole meal. All right, so our chicken and rice dish is done, and we have some veggies to go on the side. Joel also wanted some rolls, so that's the dinner for tonight. Hey, and so it's Friday night, and I still had some taco soup left that we had made like on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm going to have that for leftovers tonight so I can pretty much finish it off. We've been eating on it for like, let's see, between eating lunches and stuff like that, probably about 3 or 4 days now. So anyway, this is dinner tonight. I did throw a little cheese in there this time, and that will be tonight's dinner.
All right, so this is what's for dinner on Saturday night. It is our homemade pizza night, and we hope you've enjoyed this watch for dinner video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell for updates when we upload new videos. And that's going to do it today for the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
I'm Christy.
And don't forget, it's a long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.